And welcome back to the channel. It's nice to have you back here. This is another episode of exploring my Minecraft world, which is where I go to refill my creative well when I'm writing. And today I was hoping to be able to wait for Optifine to get caught up with the new Minecraft 1.20 update. And they're really close, but I missed being on Minecraft, so I decided to go ahead and do a quick video, even though I don't have my shader pack working yet. Looking forward to that, and it doesn't look too bad. So, but if you notice a difference in the way the world works, that's what's going on. I have upgraded to 1.2, and I'm waiting for the Optifine folks to finish their upgrade to 1.2, and then I will upload that new version and get my shader packs working again, and then I'll have that pretty water and the bright sky, etc., and the moving trees that I really enjoy. But in the meantime, we're going to go for a tour starting here at Farm Island, and instead of going right, which is what we did last time, we're going to go to the left. So here we go. I have a path here. I try to put paths between a lot of my builds, even when my builds are relatively far away. I mean, we're only talking a couple thousand blocks. It's not huge, but I'll still try to create a path between them if I can. And so this path was actually a path on the way to a farther away build, and when I got to here, I saw this really pretty island. So I decided to put a house on this island. And it was, once again, while I was listening to a podcast on writing, and so this is what I did while I was listening to the podcast, was just start building. So here, let's just kind of show you what I did. And I have added a couple of cherry trees to the island and around the island since I upgraded to 1.2. And I do like the way the new cherry trees have the petals that fall. I think that's a pretty cool addition that they did. It gives a lot of atmosphere and ambiance. So anyway, so this is just a basic house that I put together. I think it's a 7x7 configuration or a 7x9 configuration. And as you can see, I've started experimenting with the cherry wood. So I used the cherry wood on the floor and used a cherry wood door and added a couple of cherry wood trapdoors as shelves. And as usual, here's my minecart that I like to sit in, especially when it rains, because I think you get a better view out the windows when you're sitting in a minecart, or sitting somehow. And that's Onyx. If you watched the last video, when I went on a tour from the right from Farm Island, I passed a witch's hut. And the first time I came through that swamp area where that witch's hut was, I found this black cat. So I tamed it and brought it here. So this is a nice place to just sit and hang out when I'm thinking about what I want to do next in a story. So we'll go ahead and get back on that path. And as you may recall, I'm not great with boats. So I'm not going to embarrass myself right now. I'll embarrass myself later by showing how terrible I am with boats. But we'll continue down the path here. One of the ways I find out how close I am is I'll just fly, because when I'm in creative mode, which this is creative mode, I won't encounter any dangerous animals. There's another view of the house. I'm looking forward to when I can get the shader pack working again, because I think this view will be really pretty when that time comes. I may just use that as a meditative view when I can do that. So sometimes I'll just fly from my builds and see what I can see, and there have been a couple times when I have flown and discovered other builds and not realizing how close they were, so I go ahead and connect them with paths. And I try to make the paths as walkable as possible without a whole lot of jumping, just because I prefer that. I don't think there's one way or the other to do it is better than the other, it's just what I like to do. Occasionally I'll need to jump, like here, and I'm not a very good jumper. Parkour is not my thing, so I will probably miss. I've seen some of these folks playing parkour in Minecraft, and they are so impressive. It's just amazing, the skills. I frequently try not to walk on the edge of anything because I'll fall off. So this path takes us through this swamp. And I actually am thinking about putting a build in here. You see that cave over there with the waterfall in front of it? I think some kind of build back there, like a secret agent lair with the waterfall blocking it, would be really neat. So I'm thinking about doing that. Tell me what you think. Should I do that? Put something in the comments. Let me know if you think I should do that build. And here we go. We'll just keep walking. And of course I could fly if I wanted to, but I think it's cool, especially if I ever choose to play in survival mode, that to have the ability to walk between these places or ride a horse or some other rideable animal between builds would be helpful. So I take the time. And it's also kind of nice just building paths. You know, if I need to think, building paths is great for that. Just moving right along, throwing down slabs, using a shovel or the path block, and just going. And I can think about what I'm going to do with my character. How do I get him out of the problem I got them in this week? What's blowing up now? You can see there's some hills off in the distance. And in this direction I've got several builds. And one of the other things that I always try to do with my builds is, especially if I'm moving from one biome to another and the builds themselves change in, you know, style, etc., sometimes related to the biome, I will try to hide the builds as best as I can, either with trees or vines. In this case, you can see there's a build off in the distance there, but I really try to block the view of it until you get close to it, and then you can see it. So there's the witch's hut there, and this is a sort of a lake house, swamp house build that is inspired primarily by the YouTuber Zapixel. I love her stuff, and so I will frequently use her tutorials and build homes the way she suggests, and then I will also frequently make them you know, my own and do my own thing with them. You can see there's some mountains up in this direction. Oh, it looks like we're losing the sun, so we're gonna swim over to our swamp house here and go to sleep for the night. Oh, see, there's some frogs over there. Hello, froggies. I just love the level of detail that Zapixel puts into her build, right down to the roots hanging from the bottom of the homes. It's really cool. Now, one of the things that I will always do that Zapixel doesn't necessarily do is put in a fireplace. I will always put a fireplace in my builds because I really enjoy those. So we'll go ahead and go up here, and okay, so here we are. This kind of gives a better view of the construction of this house. And I'll put a link to the Zapixel tutorial that I followed in the show notes. So we'll go ahead and look out here. There's a door off into sort of the deck area here. And sometimes she actually puts in, you know, soil and does some farming on the decks, which I think is really cool. And I'll go ahead and get a loft here so you can get a better view of it. It's a nice little house. I find myself once again missing the fireflies that the Minecraft people thought they might put in but opted not to put in. This would be really cool with those fireflies. So let's continue on the path. I'm gonna just swing over here, over to the witch's house. I added some roots to the house and some vines. Kind of made it look a little bit more lived in, even though it's not. And we'll continue walking to the next destination. Hello, frog. They're so cool. I do enjoy the frog as an addition to the game. And I like using, I've said this before, I really like using these trapdoors. They're very versatile. Make for great bridges and walkways. I also like the way the water changes color from the swamp biome. See, it's much bluer when you get to the mountain biome, and it's sort of greener in the swamp biome. I think that's also a really nice level of detail to these games. Here we go. We're going to go down into this tunnel. Probably should do something with this tunnel to make it a little bit more finished looking. As you can see, we're now entering a roof forest biome, and that's abutting the swamp. And I've got a dock here, and then you can see a dock over there. And that dock leads to another build when I tried to replicate a Hobbit house. So I put it on the edge of the old forest, and there's a path here. We have some places we can go. This path goes to another set of builds, and the Hobbit house area is also an area with several builds, so we can decide which direction we want to go after we complete this little tour. So I made this a low build, and I probably should fix things up a little bit with these windows. I don't like the way the windows look, so I'll clean those up. But it's a low build, like a Hobbit Hole. What are you doing, horse? And this is either Frodo or Sam. I named the horses Frodo or Sam. And I brought them in here because what else are you going to do with them? So this is like the library and the seating area. Look, there's my minecarts again that I sit in when it's raining. Yeah, I need to do something with these windows. If anyone has any suggestions on how to, seal the windows and make them look, I want to try to keep them round like a Hobbit Hole, which is hard to do when you're dealing with a block environment, but suggestions are welcome. And then over here this is another seating area with the fireplace and the sleeping area and either Frodo or Sam, I forget which one's which. This is a door actually that leads off into a tunnel to a farming area where I have just some things growing if I want to have wheat or carrots or something. And then this is the other side of the house, which leads to another build. So that right there is a portal where you can get back to Rose Landing, which is, the spawn-in area. And I tried to make this as green and lush as a hobbit would want their garden. So lots of stuff growing here, lots of bees. And so now we can come over here and try to hop over. So there's another path here. So, where should we go next? Shall we follow this path and see where it goes? Or should we follow the path on the other side of the Hobbit house into the old forest and see where it goes? Leave me a comment. Let me know which one you think I should do. Thank you so much for being here. I enjoy sharing my realm with you. And I don't know if you know this, but you are able to play with me on Patreon. I have a patron of the block level tier where if somebody wants to get on the realm with me and play Minecraft, you are welcome to do so. I will leave a link to that in the show notes below. Again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.